Guys, the sun has made an appearance. Spring is on its way. I'm wearing my new cardigan, which I'm absolutely obsessed with, by the way. I will be living in this for the foreseeable future. It turns out I wasn't depressed. I just needed a little bit of sunshine. I can literally feel the seasonal depression leaving my body as we speak. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So in my last video, we went over my favorite fantasy books of 2025. And today we are going to go over my top 8 romance books of 2025. So like I said in my last video, I did somehow manage to read 170 books in 2025. I don't know how, don't ask me, okay? I simply had no life and we are changing that this year. In a couple of weeks, I am actually starting my new job, which I'm super excited for. And I'm just ready for a new chapter. As a result of that, I am definitely going to have way less time to read, and that's okay because I'm trying to prioritize books that I really want to read and honestly just spend less time reading and actually doing other things. For example, last year I really neglected my fitness and my health in general, and that's something that I have always been on top of. I went to the gym for years and I always looked after myself, you know, and I really did neglect that last year. But since the beginning of this year, I have been back on my fitness and health journey. And honestly, guys, I feel so much better for it. You have no idea. I feel better mentally. I feel better physically. I'm fitting in my clothes again, which was a huge deal for me because, yeah, it was starting to get pretty bad, I must say. I was not feeling great, but we're back on track. I feel so much better. Gosh, I really went off on a tangent there, didn't I? Jesus Christ, telling you my whole life story. We are all friends here. It's okay. Anyway, let's get into the video. Otherwise, we will be here all day. Okay, so the first 2 books that I really want to talk about are Heated Rivalry and The Long Game. Yes, I did jump on the bandwagon. I am just like every other girl. If there's a bandwagon, I'm hopping on it, okay? I can't resist. I need to know what the fuss is about. I was seeing so many edits on my For You page when the show came out, and I was like, wait, this looks really good. But I'm one of those people, I need to read the book first. I just do, because, yeah, I'm a book girly. What else would you expect? So I read the books, and I was literally obsessed, like disgustingly, sickeningly obsessed. Oh, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know how far this obsession went, to the point where I think all of December I just read romance books because I couldn't get enough. I was spiraling down this rabbit hole that I could not get out of. And honestly, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was watching these edits religiously and I was like, okay, I'm going to read the book. It was so good. It was so good. I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard of Heated Rivalry by now. If you haven't, where have you been? Heated Rivalry, it was pretty much just spice from the get-go. But listen, I'm not normally a fan of very spicy books. You know, I need a little bit more depth. But I absolutely devoured this. I loved every single second of it. Ilya and Shane have my whole heart. Ilya is one of my favourite male main characters of all time. I just have such a soft spot for him. He's such a tortured soul. And I just found him really relatable as well. Yes, it was utterly filthy, but it was also unbelievably wholesome and sweet. And the two of them are just so cute. Their relationship does start off as physical, but it gradually turns into something more. And just watching their connection blossom, oh, it was just everything. I was smiling, squealing, giggling and kicking my feet. Oh, I just love them so much. They truly deserve the entire world. Okay, then The Long Game, which also follows Ilya and Shane. This book was perfect. I honestly have no notes. This book was an easy 5-star read for me. This had so much depth to it compared to Heated Rivalry. I can't even begin to express, like, when I thought I couldn't possibly be more obsessed with them two, I read that book and I was like, wow. Here we are. This book made me go through every single emotion under the sun. And when I tell you guys, I sobbed my heart out. Sobbed. Yeah, I was sobbing. Their banter, their chemistry, their unwavering love they share, it's truly one of a kind, and you truly feel it in your bones. They were genuinely consuming my every waking thought for weeks on end. Ilya's mental health struggles and vulnerability in this book brought me to tears. I felt for him so deeply. It made my heart ache. He puts on this tough exterior, but beneath all that, he is just a softie, and he is the sweetest soul ever. And the way he loves Shane so fiercely and deeply, it's unmatched. Their love for each other is unparalleled. I truly felt every ounce of his pain whilst I was reading this book, and also just related to him on so many aspects. And I think that's why it hits so close to home. Honestly, Ilya must be protected at all costs. He's one of those characters that uses humor as a defense mechanism, but underneath all that, he is just going through so much, and he's hiding how much he's hurting behind his humor, and that just really broke my heart. I think Rachel Reid is an exceptional author. The way she handles difficult topics such as emotional depth, the mental health representation, the LGBTQ plus rep, the incredible found family, and even just the growth of Ilya's and Shane's relationship, everything was just executed perfectly. Their relationship developed so incredibly well from book one. There was also far less spice in this book, which I really enjoyed because I just loved watching them grow as a couple, and it really allowed their connection, their struggles, and the heavy weight of having to keep their relationship hidden really be the main focus. The yearning and pining in this is truly some of the best I have ever encountered. While there were so many heart-wrenching moments in this book, ultimately it was a joyful experience, and I honestly just love them so much. I could genuinely read about them forever. Well, lucky enough for me, we are getting another Ilya and Shane book this year in September. I know. I literally cannot wait already. I also just want to touch on the TV show because it is phenomenal. The way the actors brought these characters to life is unlike anything I've ever seen before. They really put their all into these roles, and I have so much praise for this show. It's absolutely incredible. Cannot recommend it enough. Please go watch it if you haven't already. The next book I want to talk about is Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This is book 7 in the Boys of Tommen series, if I'm counting correctly, and this follows Lizzie and Huey. So Lizzie has always been a very misunderstood, complex character, and this book really showed why she is the way she is. We get her backstory, which is absolutely devastating, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. I cried so much whilst reading this book. It made me feel sick to my stomach what she had to go through, and it's not an easy read whatsoever. It's a very, very, very heavy and dark read. I love Lizzie with my entire heart. I have a huge soft spot for her. She's always been one of those characters that I had a soft spot for because I could see how much she was hurting, and the fact that she was hiding her hurt by lashing out and being angry and all of those things about her character, I felt so deeply. I've been in her shoes before, and I understand how it comes across. I'm not saying the way she acted in previous books was okay in any way, shape or form, but at the same time, I can see past that. And I think this book really showed why she is the way she is, and just her mental health struggles and everything she went through. I thought the depictions of that were done incredibly well. I think Chloe Walsh handles such difficult and uncomfortable topics really, really well because she doesn't sugarcoat anything. She doesn't romanticize anything. It's very raw and unflinching, and I think that's the only way that these topics should be handled. I also love Huey and just the way that he supports Lizzie and is there for her. Their love, again, is just unmatched, unlike anything you'll ever read. You can just feel how much they love each other and how much he loves her and cares for her. Yeah, this book absolutely destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. Like any Boys of Tommen book, this series in general is not an easy read. Like, it is a heavy read, definitely for mature readers. It's not YA at all, and it should never be categorized as YA. It's couldn't be further from that, honestly. But yeah, I love Lizzie. I love her with my whole heart. I will always protect her and defend her. The next book I want to talk about is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, and this was the most perfect summer read. I honestly have no notes. This was an easy 5-star read for me. Obviously, I read it during the summertime, but it was just one of the best romance books I've ever read. I could not put it down. The banter and the chemistry between Alice and Charlie was incredible. The plot and the setting were incredible. The emotional depth of the characters was everything. Not only did this have me giggling and kicking my feet, but it also made me cry. Like, I actually cried so much whilst reading this book. It really hit close to home. Don't ask me why. Sometimes I just get emotional about everything that I read. The thing is, when it comes to fiction and books, I'm a crier. I do cry a lot when I read books or watch TV shows or watch films, whatnot. In real life, it's like the opposite of that, which is crazy. Because I am a Pisces and we are supposed to be emotional, but hey, I don't know. Anyways, this was the easiest 5 stars. Charlie Florrick, the man that you are. If you love an acts of service man, you are going to love Charlie. He is just everything. Oh, and the fact that they were making pierogies in this made the Eastern European in me very happy. I loved the references to that and his Eastern European culture. I truly cannot recommend this book enough. It was the most perfect summer read and I loved it with my whole entire heart. Next up we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this was actually an infinity star read, a god tier book. This is probably my favourite romance book of last year. It's also one of the best books that I have ever read. It was absolutely incredible. Oh my god, there's literally something in my eye and it's really annoying me. Like, what is going on? I can't see. Anyways, let's get back to business. So I went into this completely blind. All I knew was that it's about an astronaut. I had no idea what to expect, but this book genuinely blew me away and left me speechless. Not only was the writing phenomenal, but it's also one of the most beautiful, moving, and unforgettable love stories I've ever read in my life. I think about this book on the daily. It has stuck with me and it's never leaving. It's evident that Taylor Jenkins Reid put extensive thought and research into the inspirations behind this story, because her use of astronomical terminology and concepts was simply masterful. This was one of the most incredibly unique romance stories I've ever read. So the novel is set in the 1980s and the story follows our FMC Joan, who is an astrophysics professor, and she stumbles upon an ad recruiting the first female scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. So she applies, gets selected, and then begins her training alongside a group of fellow candidates. The group forms an unlikely friendship, and Joan discovers a passion and love that she never imagined. However, on one of their missions, everything goes disastrously wrong. This book genuinely had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. It's an absolute page turner full of suspense. I could not put it down. At its core, Atmosphere is also a powerful celebration of female empowerment and ambition. Joan is a compelling, fiercely driven, intelligent protagonist who is determined to find her voice and place in a male-dominated world. Guys, the way this book made me sob, I'm not even kidding. I was ugly crying, hyperventilating, could not see through my tears. It absolutely shattered my heart into a million tiny pieces and then slowly put it back together again. I felt so deeply attached to every single character in this book and it just really hit close to home. It was such an impactful and powerful story. I truly cannot recommend this book enough. I have not met a single person who has read this book and not sobbed their heart out. Next we have The Right Move by Liz Tomfordy. This is the second book in the Windy City series, and this book has such a special place in my heart because this is the book that really made me fall in love with this series. I must admit I wasn't the biggest fan of the first book, which is Mile High. However, after reading the entire series, I've found a new sort of appreciation for it, I guess, because of how much I love this entire series and this found family, and this found family wouldn't exist without Stevie and Xander's. I just didn't really gel with them as a couple, and Xander's specifically, I didn't really like him, but I do love them now. Okay? The Windy City series is actually my favourite sports romance series of all time. I love every single book. Every single book apart from Mile High was 5 stars. But The Right Move specifically is still my favourite book in the entire series because I just love Ryan and Indy so much as a couple, and I think because it sparked my love for this series, it's always going to be my favourite book. I love Ryan, Shay and Indy. Ryan Shea is the blueprint of all book boyfriends. He has set the bar incredibly high. This man learned sign language so he could communicate with her dad. Are you kidding? He's so thoughtful and attentive, and if you love acts of service, you are going to love Ryan Shea. Actually, every single man in this book is an acts of service man, so you will probably enjoy every single book. Just all the little things that he would do for Indy, like he would make her a coffee and he would put it in the fridge so when she wakes up she could have an iced coffee. This man is perfection. The standards have skyrocketed. I fear no fictional man will ever compare, because he is the blueprint. No, because he literally built her a bookshelf and said, I want to make you feel how your favorite books make you feel. No, exactly. Are you kidding? Because I will jump off a bridge. I'm this close. Also, Indy is one of my favorite female main characters. She's the sweetest angel ever. She's a book girly. She likes flowers and all girly things. She's a hopeless romantic. She's an extrovert. She speaks her mind, and I just really related to her on so many aspects, and I really love her. Okay, so he's a basketball player and she is his sister's best friend, and her boyfriend cheats on her and she has nowhere to live. So her best friend is like, hey, my brother has a spare room, why don't you move in with him? Brilliant idea. They don't really like each other at the beginning. They have a rocky start. They start off as fake dating, actually. Yeah, fake dating. And eventually, obviously, feelings do develop. This was the most perfect romance book, and it found me at the most perfect time. I'm just so glad I picked it up, because if I didn't, I would never have found my favourite sports romance series of all time, and I would have truly been missing out. Every single book in this series is incredible. I rave about this series constantly. It's everything. Next we have Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman, and this is a criminally underrated book. Jennifer Hartman is one of my favourite authors of all time. She writes slightly darker romance books. They have darker themes and elements. Usually it's forbidden romance, very angsty with deeper topics. This was actually categorized as YA, but I honestly would not call this YA whatsoever. It does contain heavy and sensitive themes, like any Jennifer Hartman book, so please check your trigger warnings. And there's also some spice in this too, so yeah, I definitely wouldn't class it as YA. This was a beautifully written and emotionally captivating story. It's truly an emotional roller coaster, and I loved every single second of it. One thing about Jennifer Hartman is she knows how to rip your heart out, throw it on the floor and stomp on it repeatedly. She has a real gift for making you feel very emotionally attached to her characters, that you do feel every ounce of their pain, just every ounce of their emotion in general, and therefore have your heart shattered alongside them. So essentially, Max and Ella knew each other when they were young, but something happened which forced Ella to leave town abruptly. A decade later, she returns, but she's not the same girl that Max once knew. So this is kind of like Friends to Lovers, a coming of age story, small town, they're neighbours. As their friendship blossoms, something tragic happens and the book takes a bit of a dark turn. So like I say, check your trigger warnings, but this was honestly one of the most beautiful love stories I've ever read. I loved this so much, and Jennifer Hartman's writing is beautiful. It's gorgeous. There are so many quotes that I've highlighted in her books. There's always so much angst and trauma and emotional depth, and you do just go through it with these characters, and for me those are the kinds of books that stick with me longer. Finally, the last book I want to talk about is Nocturcadia by Kerry Lake. This is actually a gothic, darker romance, but I can remember this so vividly. I read this in January or February of last year, and when I tell you this book still lives rent-free in my head, I can picture it so vividly. Kerry Lake is the queen of gothic romance, and her books are always so dark and atmospheric. The plot was so unique and fresh, truly unlike anything I've ever come across before. I was hooked from start to finish. I think I read this in like 2 days. It was so good. There were also so many plot twists in this that I did not see coming at all. The mystery element was executed perfectly, kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Alongside a gripping plot, we also have a delicious slow burn romance. One thing about Keri Lake is she knows how to write a slow burn. The angsty tension, the longing glances, the stolen touches, it was just intoxicating. Chef's kiss. The dark atmospheric setting was so vividly executed that I could picture every haunting detail. I loved Lilia and Dr. Death. Dr. Death is the ultimate morally grey, brooding, possessive and devastatingly handsome MMC that had me in a chokehold. So this is dark academia, professor-student relationship, so we have a forbidden romance aspect going on. Age gap, it's set on a haunting and mysterious island. We have secret society and a mystery going on, extremely morally grey characters, and a true slow burn with angsty tension. This was absolutely sensational. I cannot recommend this enough. Essentially, Lilia, our FMC, is accepted into Dracadia University, which is a prestigious school, because she is going to study a mysterious illness that killed her mother. It's gory, it's spooky, it's atmospheric, it's dark, it's everything you want in a gothic romance and more. I definitely need to read more Keri Lake books, actually saying that, because I've only read Nocticadia and Anathema. When spooky season comes around again, I will be reaching for more of her books. Oh, very quickly, I do also want to give some honourable mentions to Funny Story by Emily Henry, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston, because I loved all three of those books. Those are just some extra books that I think deserve to be mentioned because they were just so good. So those are my top 8 romance books of last year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you stick around.